Hello, everybody. Welcome to Anime Sickos. It's the podcast for geniuses and the only podcast where we take a look at the four pillars of modern misery: anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I am Tom, an anime sicko.
I'm Joe, an anime sicko.
We have two new patrons to thank. Our first patron is going to be Steven Westberg. Thank you for the money, Steven.
American dollars?
American dollars.
Cool.
Yeah, Steven did an incredible thing, which is he sent us a message, sent me a message, I should say. I'm in charge of all of our
Was
accounts.
it about me? Was it just like,
No,
you know who you need to lose?
No. It was, he was going to be in Chicago, and he's like, all that shit you were describing in the previous couple episodes, that's like right where the friend I'm staying with lives. And he's like, where should I go? And so I felt like a genius because I'm like, you want to go and get a pizza, and you want to go to the Art Institute. I realized like halfway through, it's like, now that I think about it, I'm kind of like a total rube Mark who just loves all the famous stuff. But whatever, it's fine.
I mean, the museums are good. It's like, is it a basic B thing to suggest? Yeah. They are good, though.
Yeah. Like, what do you, like, I was like, at the end, I'm like, anything that sort of, like, has a reputation for being good, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the only way you can go wrong is if you sit inside every day. But, Steven, I hope you have a great visit. Maybe I'll see you on the 606. I wouldn't know. You're just text to me. But maybe you've seen a picture of me. We don't put pictures of ourselves up that much. People think we are like keeping ourselves secret. No, there's pictures. It's just that they're so few and far between that it's hard to.
Well, I am in witness protection.
Oh, that's true. But for the murder you saw, yeah.
No, actually, because I was doing another podcast that got too big.
Oh, okay.
And then they were like, "You're now Joe."
Okay. So so they've been keeping us small. Artificially.
Yeah, didn't I bring this up sooner? Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Our next patron. Well, it's interesting that you asked if Steven gave us American dollars because this person has given us New Zealand dollars. And
hell yeah!
Oh my God! It's Miles David. I'm sorry to go to the obvious thing, but like,
their life has been that, right? So many currencies. We got New Zealand dollars. We definitely have some British funny money.
We got New Zealand dollars. We got Aussie dollars. We got the odious toad money. We got some euros. I think that's all the different types.
I'm imagining like Donkey Kong 64. We're pressing start, and you're seeing all of our currencies and collectibles.
I want to go back and just thank Miles without doing the annoying thing that everyone does. Thank you for your donation, Miles.
Thank you. No, for real, thank you. It's cool that we have appeal in New Zealand or anywhere.
It would be so annoying if your name was Miles David and you felt like an organic urge to learn the trumpet.
Yeah, that would suck. You got to do trombone. Sorry.
Have you ever cogitated on the fact that that Miles Morales, the Afro-Latino Spider-Man created by a white author, uses his mother's last name inexplicably? His parents are still married, but inexplicably uses. Maybe they're very progressive. Maybe they're very feminist. But he inexplicably uses his mother's last name. But you actually realize that it makes more sense when you learn that in the Spider-Man canon, his dad, a black man, is named Jefferson Davis, the racistest name there ever was.
No, that's a choice. That's a choice.
And consider further that if
is this a case of trying to take it back?
I think it's just comics authors are dumb asses. And then further, if you were to have Miles Morales use his father's last name, he would be Miles Davis. Ridiculous. Anyway, on to the episode.
So if you recall, we had our first on-location episode. It was not a live show at a cool bar with our friends. It was at an Arctic research station we were stranded at. Yeah. For tax reasons that I don't need to get into. Yeah, so we're going to do our... Gets it. Yeah, everyone. It fucking happens. We've all been there, and now it's our turn. But anyway, we're doing another on-location episode. And this location, is again the Arctic Research Station.
Fucking same one.
It's hard to leave.
No one comes to get you. Their bus doesn't come.
Yeah. So, yeah. The other thing too is like everyone has like a job, and I know we do cock talk when we talk about how working sucks, but we're feeling kind of like not helpful. Everyone's doing the Bunsen burners and the microscopes, and like we've done like no science.
To be clear, we're like so popular. Everyone loves us, but it does kind of feel like we're outsiders. We're not quite fitting in because of no science. We don't do any science, so we decided to do some research and do some science. And we actually have some research. We have like a they call it a white paper. Is that what?
No, you're thinking of a trifold cardboard poster.
Okay, yeah, we have one of those. It's made of white paper. That's why I got confused.
Yeah.
To present to everyone gathered, and we actually. I mean, you said it wasn't a live episode with our friends when we were on location last time. This one is kind of, because all of our friends at the research station are here to see our research.
And we made sure we weren't like stepping on anyone's toes. Like the stuff we researched was not at all related to what anyone else was doing.
Yeah, we went around and were like, is anyone else getting really into just talking for an hour about other people's jokes that are 20 years old?
Mm-hmm,
and everyone was like, no. And so I think we're like we're actually, not only are we not stepping on any toes, but this is good because it means that we're like doing innovative stuff in the space.
Yeah, a few of the guys were like, we've been meaning to get something like that spun up. We just don't have the time.
Yeah, they're too busy doing climate stuff.
Yeah, they're watching the ice melt, and then they're getting sad.
Yeah.
So... without further ado, people of the Arctic Research Station,
ladies, gentlemen, the thing,
we present to you our scientific treatise on why the Stella pilot is the best pilot ever made.
I'll go one further, Joe. Not only is it the best pilot ever made, but it is the perfect pilot. Now, you may say, what's the difference? Well, the best pilot ever made, you would probably surmise, is still imperfect. Because pilots, especially of a comedy show, a first episode, they have a lot of challenges, a lot of problems that they have to overcome to get you to the funny zone.
Basically, it's fucked, like from the jump. Yeah. You don't know who these people are.
Who are these strangers on my TV screen? Are they little men stuck in the box? Can I get them out?
And that has to be addressed in the first episode. Every time.
Mm-hmm.
We believe strongly that all of the pitfalls of a pilot, a comedy pilot specifically, are expertly handled in the Stella pilot. And allow me to explain. You start a new show. People are trying to have rapport. Central problem there. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, it doesn't make like I don't know what rhythm the characters have because they've never done it before. It's like to go back to our our patron Miles Davis. Imagine a tight jazz quintet having played their 200th show. They're going to be great. Now imagine like 5 high school kids who have never played with another person before trying to improvise a song on the spot. It's going to be really bad because there's no context yet.
How do I know this is true? Before we started recording, I was like, Tom, you know how I know the Stella pilot's really good? It's because I told you that you should watch it. Conversely, I jokingly suggested watching the first episode of Parks and Rec, and we both started puking. It's not even funny to like joke about.
I said that like when you get sent to the hole in prison, if you did something really bad, they also play the episodes of Parks and Rec with Mark Brendanowitz where Leslie Knope is like an incompetent buffoon before they retooled. They are so fucking bad. Oh my God.
If you're a dumb person and you watch a pilot, you might want lore. Like, we need to know who are these people? What happened to Sheldon to make him so young? You know, these are the questions.
Yeah. And if you are trying to establish that kind of exposition, especially in the time frame of a fucking sitcom, half-hour sitcom TV show, you're gonna have to do it in the most brutally efficient way, which generally is so awkward and unpleasant to watch. It's just like, okay, I get it. Can we get to the fun part? And it's tough.
Yeah, and also, I don't want to speak in like absolute rules, but like having context helps the comedy a little bit. And when a show is 2 minutes old in terms of total runtime, you don't have a lot of context. You don't have a lot of stuff to hang up goofs on. Mm-hmm. Stella fucking pisses all over these limitations. It goes Super Saiyan big time.
It helps that the premise of Stella is Michael Ian Black, Michael Showalter, and David Wayne are all in suits, and they stand next to each other, and they do gags. And they had been doing that on stage for apparently years before the show. So their groove was so locked in from the jump.
Yes. It is immediately really good chemistry for obvious reasons. It's not even just that they were on the state together. They literally did the suit guys separately as a thing. So the thing I cannot stress enough about this pilot, as I would compare it to other comedy pilots, the Seinfeld pilot is not good. And I'm not saying like I expect it to be good, but like that's another example of like, at best, usually a comedy pilot can just like drag itself across the finish line.
Yeah, like the 30 Rock pilot is like, it's not bad. It's funny. It makes me want to watch the rest of 30 Rock. But like, especially if you watch it again after like season 3, season 4, season 5, you're just like, oh, this is not quite there.
Shall we get started? I think though the central aha moment I had as we were talking about this is that a lot of first episodes of comedy series are Tony Hawk 1.
Yes.
Stella is Tony Hawk 2. And Tom, what is like the key difference between Tony Hawk 2 and Tony Hawk 1?
Superman by Goldfinger.
That's very true. Okay, yes. But it's also manualing. Yeah, because that really changes everything. Because now, if you're not familiar, in the first Tony Hawk, you could chain tricks if you were grinding or on a half pipe, but once you stop or hit flat ground, it was over. Now you can do a skateboard wheelie, and you can connect anything if you're good enough, and you can get real nutty with it. The pace of the Stella pilot feels like one trick connected by 100 manuals.
Yes. And when you play a lot of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, and you go back to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, it's like,
why is my guy a
on?
Caveman? Why can't he move right?
Like you go to slam up and down on the D-pad every time your guy's about to touch the ground, as is muscle memory to you at this point, and like nothing happens, and it feels not like, oh, this is just, that they didn't put this mechanic into the game yet. It's like, oh, the game's broken. Like, you can't go back to not having manuals. It's simply too smooth. And that's what the Stella... Like, here's... Case in point, folks. For my research for this thing that I'm doing, I'm giving our presentation to the ladies, gentlemen, and the thing of the Antarctic Research Station. By the way, the thing, how's your sister? Oh, she's doing a lot better. I'm really happy to hear that. As I was doing my research, I was going and writing down every single joke that is in the pilot. And you wouldn't think this would be that hard. Tedious, maybe. Hard, no. But it is actually very, very difficult to tell when to stop describing all this shit as one joke and break it into multiple jokes.
Because it's a vector. It's just like a nonstop vector that wastes no time.
It does waste some time, but that's the joke.
With purpose. Yeah. It's very much Frankenstein wastes a moment of your time. It's knowingly wasting your time. It's fun.
It's very good. Should we just get into it?
let's just fucking get into it. The opening scene, we got the boys, we got Michael, and David. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, they're just three guys in suits. The one reoccurring thing is that David Wayne is like a sex magnet, but like which is
no one else
wonderful.
notices.
It's absolutely the funniest of the three to be a sex magnet. But anyway, they're arguing in a car. Tom, what are they arguing about?
They're arguing whether or not to listen to funk or funk rock. And again, a hilarious thing to argue about. And then they add, I'm going down the list. Next joke in the pilot after they're arguing about funk or funk rock, they mentioned that they do it before bed every night.
Yes. The person driving the car, I don't remember which one it is.
It's Michael Ian Black.
Gets pissed, says, you know what, I'm going to run this fucking car into a pole. And then
Do it.
And then he does. He does. There's no consequences meaningfully. Like, Michael Ian Black has a huge face wound that goes away quickly.
But like there's the car crash noise, and without the pace of the conversation dipping, they're like getting out of the smoking car fine, still talking about funk versus funk rock. The face wound is a hilarious sight gag. Zero consequences right away. It's like, okay, I get it. I don't even need to hear these characters' names. You eventually learn that, it's just the actors. It's just Michael, David.
They're just guys.
But you don't need to know why they're in suits. You're like, these are like three Bugs Bunnies. Like, that's what they are. What if there was three of Bugs Bunny? It would be this. Incredible. And as they're getting to where they are driving to, they're going into some building. And again, another great joke is that as they're walking in, one of them says, "You know what you're doing? You're being presumptive." And it's just it's so simple. A dumb guy's being smart. Dumb guys saying a smart thing, always funny. Then we cut to what are they doing? They're
continuing this argument, though. They're continuing this argument about whether they should listen to funk or funk rock. So they walk into a squash place in full suits. They're
playing squash, yeah.
They're like, okay, they're going to play squash. That's kind of weird that they're playing squash in full suits.
They have their pads on over their suit pants and all that. It's funny.
The conversation continues about whether they should listen to funk or funk rock. They actually aren't playing squash. They're just fucking nailing the ball at David.
He's up against the wall with his hands on the wall, looking back at them. The compromise they come up as they're whipping balls at David as hard as they can is that tonight, instead of listening to funk or funk rock, which they're split on, they're going to listen to funk rock, which you might think, what's the difference? Luckily, we have a scene in the sauna where Michael Ian Black clarifies the difference between funk rock and funk rock. And of course, they are, again, in full suits.
They walk into the apartment, funny, and they walk over to their CD rack, which has 3 shelves, which are all empty, except for one on each shelf. You got funk. Then you got funk rock with rock emphasized with like an underline. And then you have funk rock with funk underlined.
Before we move on, I just want to emphasize some things that happen in this, again, like seconds of show. 1, you said they walk into their apartment funny. I want to hit this. This is the manual that we're talking about. Like this
Absolutely.
Is
there's no, like, they just fucking walk in weird. Like, it's not like Ministry of Silly Walks in the sense that, like, look how, like, I'm doing this goofy thing. It's just like, there was a gap between these 2 points, so we walk stupid. It's fun.
Yes, it's so good. Also, the 3 CDs, I cannot emphasize enough how much the covers that say funk rock, and funk rock are just, like,
the most home printer shit of all time.
Yes, it's going onto Microsoft Word with fucking Times New Roman and just hitting center 24 point right at the word print, cut it out and put it in. So good. They throw the CD like a frisbee to all 3 of them, and then Michael Showalter throws it into the CD tray perfectly, and it closes by itself. And perhaps the funniest bit of this entire opening, because this is all preamble to the theme song and the intro to the show, the title card. My favorite bit of the entire beginning, it's not funk rock. It's not at all.
It's just like kind of kooky. I don't know. I don't know how I would describe the theme, but it matches the show. It is not funk rock.
Not at all. Oh god. So we get the title card, says Stella. We get Michael Ian Black, Michael Showalter, David Wayne. We're locked in. You know this is going to be the perfect pilot. So we continue on. We go back to the actual story, and they're making too much noise. They're getting a clunk, 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 clunk,
The
clunk.
classic sitcom thing where the people underneath bump the ceiling with a broom because you're too loud. And there's 3 girls that live underneath on the floor below them. One of them is Rashida Jones.
Yes.
And they are, your guys are so loud. You guys are always so loud.
Every no, not. Shut up, old maid. Michael Ian Black immediately reacts like a fucking 6-year-old and calls her an old maid over and over.
The girls say, every night it's the same with you. And they say, no, it's not. No, it's not. And there's a flashback to the same thing happening.
The exact same theme, but the exact same theme, but with a fucking like hazy flashback filter over it.
And the clothes are a little different. Yeah, and then it cuts back to them. See, it was the same thing.
And Michael Showalter says, no. He said Auld Maid, like Auld Lang Syne. So, I think they all, I didn't write this down, but I think they all are so taken by that they all just start singing Auld Lang Syne over the girls complaining.
Yeah, they get like wrapped up in choral work a lot. Later, there's a part where they all start meowing because one of them starts it. So the girls threaten to call the landlord, and they say, "Do it, old maid, do it."
Do it. Exactly the same kind of do it from when Michael Ian Black says, "I'm gonna drive this car into a phone pole," and they go, "Do it."
The phone rings. This is some amazing. The phone rings. David Wayne walks over. He's like already crying.
He's so scared immediately. He answers the phone. It's not one of those ones where you can see both sides. You just hear him talking. You say, huh? Yeah, Mr. Mueller. Okay, Mr. Mueller. He does Mr. Mueller a million times. He hangs up the phone. They say, who was that? It was Mr. Mueller. So fucking funny.
Michael Ian Black says he's such a Nazi, and they're like, not all Germans are Nazis. He's like, that's not my understanding.
They decide we have to clean before the landlord gets there because he's going to come to the apartment, so they have to clean up to make it presentable.
To be clear, their apartment looks like a showroom. It's fine. Like it's well decorated. There's lots of space. There's no aesthetic issue anywhere.
You know what it's like? It's like if you had some veteran TV set designers and carpenters, and you said, "Build me the standard."
Yes,
like that's their apartment.
So the way they clean up is that they fluff all the pillows a bunch in the apartment. The cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop is that Michael Showalter is in the kitchen, and then he opens one of the cabinets and takes out the pillow to fluff it, and then puts it back. I hate to be pedantic, but I have to correct you. They don't fluff all the pillows. They each fluff one pillow. Yeah. And anyway, when they're done doing that, they all get into a pose where one of them has a book, one of them has an umbrella, and one of them has a weird stringed instrument that it's unclear what it is. I think it's a mandolin. I don't know. It's like definitely a medieval string instrument.
It's ethnic for sure.
Yeah, and Mr. Mueller arrives, but they can't let him in because like they're stuck in a tableau.
Yeah, the door is locked, and he says they can't move. We're in a tableau. They say the key is under the rug.
He said there's no rug. This fucking joke. The first time I saw this was in former Guesto, M. Haverty's basement, and it was this joke where I was like, "Oh, you can put this on like TV? Like I didn't know you could get nutty with this." So this he says the key is under the mat. And there's no mat. He's like, "Oh, you know what?
The cleaners, yeah.
It's at the cleaner. Here's the ticket." And he opens the door and hands it to him. "You got to go get the rug. See you later, Don." And then Don goes to the cleaner. There's a huge line. It's very stressful. He gets it. He puts the mat down in front of the door, and then he lifts up the corner, and the key is there. And then he opens it and walks in, and then they're very sweaty because they've been in a tableau for a very long time.
They cut from the from the Mr. Mueller getting the rug to them holding the tableau.
Just sweating bullets.
They look like they're in insane pain. They're so unhappy, but they have to keep their like smiles on because they're in the tableau. As soon as he opens the door, they say, "What a surprise!" and
they like massage him. They
manhandle him. They take his shoes off. They like pick him up and lay him down.
Yeah, they aggressively try to spa him. They pour tea tree oil all over his feet and socks.
It's wonderful for the immune system, Don. And like Michael Showalter's doing like a massage where he's just like taking his elbow and like straight killing him in the neck. And then like after a couple of seconds of this extremely ridiculous, painful massage, we cut back to Michael Ian Black, who had previously was just like rubbing huge handfuls of tea tree oils onto his socked feet. He's just pouring the whole bottle and says, "Is that good, Don? Do you like that, Don?" And then you see David shoving a big fucking bunch of burning sage in his face. Like, they are just like absolutely attacking this man with spa treatments.
Although there is certainly something to be said for the power of two guys talking to each other. When you got three guys and you can like very jarringly cut between different stupid activities, that's got juice.
It does.
That's got juice. So one of them starts meowing. I don't remember.
Okay.
Because it says perfect. Someone says perfect.
Yeah, because the lights were too bright to be a spa, but then they were too dim, and then he gets it perfect, and then one of them says perfect, and they all start purring, and then Michael Showalter meows, and they all start meowing.
And then he evicts them. He's like, enough of this. Effective immediately, you guys are evicted.
Michael Showalter says, "I can see this discussion is going in circles." And then we cut to, they are immediately outside with hobo hats and bindles. This is hilarious. If you have a bindle in episode 1, like, bindles are like season 3 stuff. You have to work so hard to get that good.
A bindle is usually earned. And to be clear, it was earned here, but they just ramped up the points very quickly.
Yeah.
So they find a can of old bean, a can of a single bean.
Yeah, there's an old can of beans. They have one bean in it. They painstakingly cut it into 3 ridiculous portions.
And then they take out like a huge tray of every type of condiment and have a little taste test.
They find the girls on the street. They're downstairs neighbors previously, and Michael Showalter, in an attempt to like own them, is like still living in the same apartment. And one of them goes, "What, since yesterday?" And his face is again. It's the same.
Oh fuck!
They got me. I'm owned. Again, this is the same joke as do it, call him. And then as soon as they call the landlord, David is on the verge of tears. It's so funny every fucking time.
They say, "Hey, we have these friends, right? And they are looking for a place to live, right? And we were just wondering, like, what those friends should do." And then the girls mockingly say, "Tell your friends to check the real estate section." And then everybody laughs, and then they get a newspaper.
And they see a listing for an open apartment. They go and meet the broker for this luxury apartment. She's introduced herself as Libby. David goes, "Hi, Libby, I'm David." Amazing.
She is a little stunned. She's like, "Oh, okay." And then she just lists the amenities, including a nursery, which causes Michael Ian Black to say, "You know what? A nursery would be great because Showalter's kind of a crybaby."
He responds, "I am not a crybaby."
"Then why are you about to cry?"
They ask to go discuss this out on the terrace, and literally the second Libby and David Wayne are alone, they start aggressively making out.
Making out is so funny. It is. I think that's the other thing that Stella, David Wayne especially, like get to say. Like, making out is so fucking funny. The runner here with the making out is also like, yes, they make out, but the thing that happens that's funny here and again later is like right before they like kiss to get really close, they're like, "What are we doing?" "I don't know. I don't know.
It's all just so funny that like all David Wayne needs to do is not be next to those two guys, and like, it's fucking time. Like it's time to fuck, no matter what. And as soon as they start making out the Baker Street, that sax starts playing, and we cut to Michael and Michael out on the terrace arguing. The music is still going, but it's just muffled and softer.
Right. Implying that like their making out made it happen.
And they're just sort of Michael Showalter is again trying to explain that like the joke wasn't funny. Michael Ian Black is like, I was just making a joke. I wasn't serious. I was just making a joke. And eventually Showalter loses his temper. He goes, it wasn't funny, Michael. And Michael Ian Black makes the I cannot emphasize how good this reaction is. This face of like, oh my God, see? Cry baby. Like he doesn't even say a word. It's just like, what are you trying to tell me I'm wrong? Cry baby.
Cuts back to the inside of the condo, and they stop making out, and Libby's like, I'll do anything to be with you. I'll leave my kids. I'll leave my husband. I have to have you, David. And he goes, shut up.
It's so funny how his shut up is so much louder and sharper than ever, because they've been talking in like this, and then he shut up.
Yeah, he says, I want to tap that ass. But it's over. It's over. And at which point she's like holding back tears as the other two come back in from the terrace, and they're like, yeah, we'll take it.
So then we cut to the next scene is they have to convince the co-op board to let them have the apartment, and they have prepared a presentation, much
on
like
an
the
overhead projector,
much like the presentation
from old school. Yeah,
that we're giving now to the Arctic scientists. And Michael Showalter begins with, "Dear co-op board," and he looks at them and goes, "All black," and
just the most deranged, and like
because they are all black.
Why would you say that? It's just very weird.
No judgment. He's just noting. Oh, you're all black.
Did you see the words on their presentation? It's like why you should let us live here, and one of the reasons was the yucks.
Maximum yucks. It's
maximum yucks.
There's one thing in the middle that you can't see. One bullet point that is obscured, but the ones you can see are "we're cool guys" and maximum yucks.
At some point, they turn around to, I think, address something on the projector, and they have skunk tails sticking out of the back of their suits. The main guy of the counter board reasonably asks, like, "Why are you guys dressed as skunks?"
No, we're dressed as skunk people. Like, this is so fucking fun. Like, this is just nothing but, like...
Yeah, but then, see, this is the other thing. Like, they immediately panic and have a huddle about, like, I told you the skunk tails were a bad idea. No, they love it. They love the skunk tails.
No, how could anyone love them? He hates them. Everyone hates them. Why did we wear skunk tails? And then, like, both of the other two, like, roll their eyes like, I know, it was ridiculous. Even though they were just the ones arguing, like, the skunk tails are good. Again, guys changing their minds extremely easily when they just were holding the most, like, hardcore opinion. So fucking funny. This is the core of the Austin Powers sketch we did, which is Austin Powers sucks. You guys need to understand, we're from the future. Austin Powers sucks. You have to believe us. No, it's good. Oh shit, wait, actually it's good. Like, it's always funny. This is like, I say we're just listing every joke, but like, we're not joking about that manual shit. We're basically just reading the script out, because
this is one combo. This is Dark Side 50-50 into Nolly into Ollie,
impossible,
which is
boneless.
Yeah. So they get rejected, and
is it because of the skunk tails?
And the guy says, "Oh no, we love the skunk tails," which is like one of the just most fucking killer lines. Just like, oh no, the weird thing, it was fine.
Keep in mind, folks, like there's been like a maybe 1 minute of time elapsed since the skunk tails were revealed, and we've had like 5 jokes about these. Like it's relentless. You know, you ever see Ip Man? How Ip Man's like signature thing is he just like punches a guy in the sternum like 1,000 times in 2 seconds, and just like, and the they do the martial arts sound design where the punches sound way harder than any punch ever would, and it really works when he's doing 1,000 punches. It's just like, and you're just like, oh my god, Ip Man, that's this with the skunk tails. Fuck. Anyway,
they don't take They do take no for an answer that they rejected, but they say like, okay, well maybe this will convince you, and they do a spectacular dance number. It's very sensual, not like, how should I say? It's like sensual in like professional dancers dancing in a smoky room while people watch on.
It's not pornographic, but it is erotic. At one point, David Wayne is being a kitty. And he does kitty hands at the broker, and she is, because she's there too, and she is so fucking horny for him, she can barely keep it together. The co-op board is all smoking at this point. Like, we cut to them watching, and they're all smoking.
Yes, really good cinematography actually, which is amazingly funny when paired with the very intentional choice they did, because the people who were dancing are like not actually the guys, like they actually got professional dancers to do the dancing, but they do very intentionally like do a shitty freeze frame on the Michael Ian Black replacement. You can totally tell that's not fucking him.
I mean,
so
well, wait till we get a little bit further. Well, they do. So okay, there are some moves that they have the characters do because they're not actually like, they don't actually require much skill. They do
like the thing where they perform a bull dance, a bullfight. Yes,
yeah, like David is the bull. They like mime a flag, and he whooshes pie. And then this is the best part. Fucking Showalter is the matador who then kills David with the fucking air sword
with a good twist.
He would in a bullfight. At one point, they point to the main co-op board guy who mouths like, me? Like, and he's so bashful, like, really? You want me? And they give a big dopey grin and like,
and they pull him up and they dance. They do a big dance party.
He goes, no. The fucking co-op board guy is giving the most ridiculous responses to me, and then no, he's so bashful. But yeah, he joins the dance again. He's perfect. This is when we start getting like close-up face shots on the dance doubles, who do not look at all like the actual characters. I think the only resemblance is the hair color is the same, and they're on screen for like a number of seconds and looking right at the camera. It's so good.
And they're like, we've changed our mind. You guys can have the apartment for the closing costs of $3 million. Smash cut to them cutting another bean, right?
Yeah, it's just instantly another bean getting cut in three. And this is, I think, Joe's favorite joke. As they're about to eat their third of the bean, David looks up, sees something, and goes, you guys, look! And they run off. And what he said to look at is they have to run completely around the corner, and there's a flyer.
Yeah, like he couldn't see it. It's very much like a immersion sim guard heard something. It's so funny.
But anyway, the flyer's for a apartment for rent right around the corner. It's their apartment. How are they? They can't get that apartment. They just got evicted. There's no way Mr. Mueller would let them have that apartment.
Wait a minute, you still have that friend who makes fake mustaches?
What, Gary Meadows? I love that. You're just like, not just like, yes. He's like, do you mean Gary Meadows?
Yeah, but I don't see what that has to do with,
like, trust me. And we cut to commercial. Before they actually go to commercial, all three of them look at the camera directly, and David is making a sexy fuck face for no reason. It's so good.
They enter their old apartment, mustachioed, and announce that they are three business tycoons.
Before you got you had the name jokes. You're skipping over the jokes of them giving their fake names, because they all have to do an attempt of saying a fake name. David Wayne goes, "My name is." Oh fuck! Oh, damn it! A name. He had not heard of it. And then Michael Ian Black goes like, I got this. And he's like, my name is Michael Ian Like you can see as he's saying Ian, he's like, oh no, but can't stop. This is when Michael Showalter saves the day by saying, we're just three business tycoons. The landlord is like overjoyed that there are business
like
tycoons.
the sound of that. These last guys didn't even have jobs.
They laugh way too long at this. As they're laughing, Michael Showalter is wiggling his shoulders up and down insanely with every laugh. And then David Wayne ends by saying, I haven't laughed this hard since my last business transaction. And they laugh even harder.
The girls from downstairs are like, hey, we heard there were business tycoons in here.
They're so horny for the tycoons.
And they're going to rent the apartment. He's like, Mr. Mueller's like, I've seen enough. Yay, you guys can have the apartment. So they all start doing Ring Around the Rosie because they're so excited about moving into this apartment. Both like the landlord, the girls downstairs, the three guys. There's other guys there.
There's some random people in the Ring Around the Rosie that are never addressed. But as they're jumping around, their mustaches, their fake mustaches, they fall off.
And Mr. Mueller realizes that these guys are in fact the deadbeats from before, and it's so shocking he has a heart attack. And they're like, call 911. No, there's no time for that. So
I need a butter knife and a straw. Stat. Someone says, are you guys doctors? The girls say...
They're not doctors. They're R-words. 2011.
2005. Michael Ian Black says... get strapped in, folks. It's going to be a long night. He rolls up his sleeves, like about to do surgery, and he briefly makes eye contact with the camera. It seems accidentally, and then when he sees the camera, he smiles, and it's like an hey nod.
Hey, yeah.
They put Mr. Mueller's unconscious body on the table. Michael Ian Black rips his shirt open way too sexily.
So one thing I cannot stress enough is how funny, sexy stuff. It's just like doing one action in a sequence too sexily, like for instance this is so good.
I mean, you know what it's like? It's how every time a famous person's sex get leaked, everyone's like, bro's not cooking, bro is on to nothing, oh my god, straight white boys can't sext. And it's just like, well, there's really, out of context, there's no good sex. They're all corny. It is impossible. You need to be in the context of horniness began, and we're turning the crank of horniness. Oh my god, crank! Turning the crank of horniness, and in that context, this makes some sense. But out of context, it's ridiculous. And that's what they're ripping a shirt open that sexually. If you are gonna fuck, makes total sense. If it is your unconscious,
they're about to cut him
landlord.
open. They're about to literally cut him open with a butter knife. And the gore is funny. I don't know how. It's so clearly a prosthetic, but there's also a ton of blood.
Well, okay. So before we get to the blood, there's a quick gag, another manual of Michael Ian Black trying to put on his surgical gloves, and he just can't do it right, and he just sort of gives up and holds his hand up with his fingers not in the right place. And it's you know what it is? It's fucking Evil Dead 2. Where it's a horror comedy, and what makes a horror comedy, not a horror? It's using too much blood. Using blood makes it a horror. Using too much blood makes it a
goofer. Yeah.
And that's when they put the butter knife on the fake rubber torso, just in gallons of blood starting oozing out instantly.
As soon as the butter knife touches the skin, it's basically a geyser. They hold the chest open, the halves of it that have been carved back, and they keep it open with chip clips. They're just messing around in there.
They have a ladle and a turkey baster, and they're just kind of ladling up blood and pouring it again and basting his heart.
There's no strategy really.
They're just pulling out random pieces of meat. And as they're doing this operation,
they take out his rib, right? His whole rib cage.
One of the Michaels says, "Did he have any family? Anyone we can get in contact with?" And the other goes, "No, he had no one. Such a tragedy when you're all alone in the world." And that's when David, who has been watching them do the sort of assisting the surgery, has a thought. He remembers early in the episode where Libby, the broker for the luxury apartment, said, "I love you," and he went, "Shut up!" And they make sure to include the "shut up." And he's overcome, and he runs out of the apartment. And as he's running, they pull out his entire rib cage from the cavity.
He leaves the apartment covered. His hands are covered in blood.
Yes.
Like he opens the door and then slams into another door and then runs the other direction down the hallway.
He runs outside. It is raining heavily, and he runs to another apartment building. You assume Libby's apartment building. He goes inside, and we're in Libby's apartment, and there's a doorbell rings. She goes to answer the door. I didn't even notice this.
You doubted me. You actually doubted me.
So what did I doubt?
So, you know, in like romantic scenes, the person being outside getting rained on is a common trope.
Yes.
David Wayne is getting rained on in this, but like there's an interior hallway. I like it's like a condo building hallway that's like raining inside.
It's inside.
And I did not notice this many times. I've seen this many times. I think it wasn't until like the 5th time I watched it I noticed that. And when I told you, you were like, "No, you're thinking of something else. Like you were literally wrong."
I thought Joe was wrong. I'm like, there's no, because like he runs out of the hallway and he's on the street, and then he goes to the door so that he's outside because he's at the door. No,
there are
I watched
hallway
again.
light fixtures getting rained on.
You see him go into another condo building, and there are fucking sconces getting rained on. Heavy rain. It's so fucking funny. Libby answers the door and says, "David, what are you doing?" And he goes, "Baby, just shut up. Shut up for 1 second." Again, she has said 5 words. So goddamn good.
After he confesses his love for her, he's just like, "You know what? I gotta have you. Like I went through some crazy stuff. Yada yada." Her husband calls like, "Hey, who's at the door?" Man, I love this joke. Libby's like, "Oh, do you know my husband, Edward Norton?"
And it's him. It's not a lookalike. It's really Edward Norton.
They're friends. They're all friends. Them and Sam Rockwell. It's so stupid. But anyway, do you know my husband, Edward Norton? And David Wayne, a very polite response, which is not personally, but I'm a fan. Hey man, you look pretty wet. Why don't you dry off? And he starts taking off his shirt.
Yeah, you use my shirt to dry off, and you can see his abs. So good. David's like, "Sorry, I have some open heart surgery performed," and he runs away. And as he's leaving, Edward Norton goes, "I so admire that man."
Yeah, he comes back. They got dumber, I guess, because they have like flashlights tied to their head as they continue to just take apart this guy.
At this point, they have tongs in their hands, and they're just wiggling the tongs back and forth in the guy. David Wayne sprints in and immediately just shoves his hands in the chest, and they're all like, "Hey."
He plunges. Hey.
Eventually, they complete their procedure, and they tie him up with yarn. And we cut to the morning. Everyone else who was at the showing, like the girls from downstairs and the random other people, have been in the other room just sort of like waiting. And in the morning, David and Michael Showalter go in to see them all in scrubs now. They weren't wearing scrubs before when they were doing the surgery. They're only in scrubs now. They say it was real touch and go there for a while, but we think he's going to make it. And everyone's so fucking happy.
The hugging.
It was all worth it.
Yeah. And then immediately Michael Ian Black comes in. Guys, we lost him. He's dead.
Everyone leaves miserable, and then some random
way to go,
fucking
guys.
guy.
Way to kill the landlord is a good line.
How did I not write that down? Jesus Christ. Like, it was so fucking hard to write down every joke in the Stella pilot, and I still missed some. Luckily, Joe has an encyclopedic knowledge of this shit and all the lines in Chrono Trigger, and what level you learn water 2 at. Anyway, they feel miserable for killing the landlord, and some random guy comes in and says, "That man was no landlord. He was known as Dr. Joseph Mengele. Your botched surgery was an ironic and just end." He's like a Holocaust
he's from the
investigator.
ADL. He said he's like we would like to, as a thank you for your service,
killing Dr. Joseph Mengele, to be clear.
We're gonna pay 3 months of your rent, and then here is a toaster. We got a wicker hamper from Pier 1 and some fleece pullovers.
And he's like, anyway, they will get one. To be clear, they love it. Every time he pulls something out, they're like, wow. And then as soon as he gives them all the gifts, he just immediately leaves. And they all three look over at the landlord's corpse and go, that is too funny. Anyway, we then cut to they're driving again. They're going to go celebrate having a new apartment by going boogie boarding. Showalter says, I don't want to go boogie boarding. Michael Ian Black said, if you don't stop arguing, I'm going to drive this truck off a cliff. Can you guess what they both say to him?
Do it. They fucking do.
They all climb up the cliff smoking like Looney Tunes. They just have smoke coming off of them. Showalter says, I don't like boogie boarding because the waves are too choppy. David Wade says, I like the choppy waves. And roll credits.
No fat. Like, obviously, I was, like, talking through it. It was, like, fucking longer than the show, which speaks to the speed and vector of the pilot. It's very good.
It's I mean, the going. I think there's no better metaphor than this is like you're watching a YouTube clip of expert level Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 gameplay, where like the combo just gets to like times 1,000 because they've done 1,000 tricks without stopping, and just like you almost cry to see it because like it's perfect, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those things that makes me jealous. Sometimes I see an episode of something, or I watch something, and even beyond just liking it, I will have like an envy. And envy sounds like I'm like an artist that's like making everything, and I'm not. It's just like I just get envious that like someone got to make that, and I would have liked to like had a taste of that. You know, that's really, I'm jealous. Damn it.
I would have liked to be in the writer's room, even if all the suggestions I made were immediately shot down and I got not a single word in the script, but just like to have seen it. That's the other thing, is that this is the perfect pilot. It is so fucking funny. It immediately introduces these three characters. Their rhythm is so perfect. The voice is so clear and so unique. It is constantly making the most funniest jokes. And like, what came of it? There was a 10-episode season, and then it got fucking canceled because like nobody watched it. I only watched it. I watched Stella as it came out because I got a DVD in the mail from Comedy Central that had the Stella pilot on it, which
they knew you were like what you are, and they mailed you it.
Oh my god. How did I get that fucking thing? Did they just like what how did they know? How did they know? Did anyone else get this? Was this just me? I heard that like people got the fucking DVD. Maybe it came if you got something else from Comedy Central.
I think when I watched it with M, it was that disc.
It's so fucked up that like, well, there's two things that are fucked up. Is that Michael Ian Black fell off because he's so good.
No, he was raptured immediately after this ended,
yeah.
and
there's another guy who looks just like him.
Yeah, and he's weird. He's different. It's fine.
Yeah, he loves Hillary.
No, the important thing, maybe this is what you're about to say, is that they were younger than we are now. When they made it.
No, that's not true. Wait, really? No. Wait, okay. I'm doing some math. I'm looking some things up. Okay. Michael Ian Black was, during the year that the Stella pilot was released, he was 34 years old. So I'm a little...
I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man, dude.
I'm nearly dead, but I'm not quite there. David Wayne, how old was he? Oh, man, be old, man. Okay, he's older. Oh, thank God. Yeah, okay. So in 2005, he was 36. Okay. Michael Showalter, you better be an old fucking bitch. You better be crusty as anything. Okay. He was 35. Okay. I got like 2 years to make Stella, and then I won't feel bad.
I guess like the issue with making Stella is that like those guys have been doing it longer. They're just like a little better, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think we're like 99% of the way there. How is this not the most fucking? How is this not a huge hit? I just don't get it. It's really funny. Who couldn't like this? It's really just Looney Tunes.
I was thinking about this before we started talking, which is like the world, I say world, but like it's shot very realistically, but it's like these three guys have the aura, like the Looney Tune, the Bugs Bunny aura.
Yes.
That changes the gravity of stuff around them, but like things are otherwise normal. And that's just like a very rich vein.
Yes. Like people say 30 Rock is a live action cartoon because it is goofy and because it is very broad and silly. And they're right to do that because 30 Rock's great. We love it, obviously. But like Stella really is a live action cartoon for the reasons you say. Like what is the thing about Bugs Bunny? What is like the thing he does? The thing he does is that what he wills to be is. Like if he decides that you're gonna like stick your shotgun in the hole and it's gonna bend around and shoot you in the butt, it's gonna happen, even though it doesn't make any sense. And it won't happen the next time because the joke has already been made.
Not that I like play 40K or care about it, but like the orc technology thing is the same idea where it's like we all believe we're all latently psychic. So if enough of us get together
and we believe that like this is a good ship that does go,
it'll work. Right. Like the rules of physics outside of that ship are still real. It's the goofiness is because of the guys.
That's the only thing I know about Warhammer is that the orcs are soccer hooligans who they just manifest. They use the power of positive thinking to make their shit work, even though they don't know about basic engineering.
They're fun to look at because they're like the fucked contraption faction. Like you get the guns are all goofy, the machines are all half-assed. Like it's fun. I like to see that rather than like a very sleek robot.
You know what it is? It's the type of truly trenchant satire that can only come from aiming the gun directly at your own face because it's just England. Like the orcs are just the British.
Absolutely.
Oh my god. So, to everyone here gathered who's heard our research, I think the thing that we're trying to say is that this is the perfect pilot. All the other episodes are good, but like this was the first one and it's perfect.
As good as the others. But like if I wanted to show like a reason why the show is good, the fact the pilot is in the running for one episode to show a person is a big deal.
Yo, you know what? I think this is going to really say a lot. If you told someone that Stella had 3 seasons on Comedy Central and this is the season premiere of season 3, would they doubt you?
That's a good way to put it. That's a very good way to put it because there's a immediate chemistry. They got the flow. They're schmooving immediately for sure.
Like this is the first time that the downstairs neighbors, the girls, show up. They show up in every episode, but like, and so technically this is the introduction, and there is some exposition getting done explaining like what is their deal, what is their dynamic like with the guys, but it is done so seamlessly and so quickly that it's like how, you know, you can watch Seinfeld and not see the episode where they said Jerry and Elaine used to date, but now they're just friends, and you just eventually know that.
Yeah, you absorb that. Yes.
It's like that. It's like they don't. All the dynamics and all the relationships are just like they don't say it. You just kind of know because, like, well, obviously, I'm looking at it. It's so good.
There's a shotgun effect to it too because, like, it's relying. Like, look, the noisy upstairs neighbor, we're gonna call the landlord. Like, this is like sitcom territory, which is not a criticism. This is like you have this sort of expected tension that we've seen on TV before, and now you're gonna fucking just crank up the dumb.
It's so dumb. My God. I really when he you gotta watch when Michael and Michael go onto the terrace and David and this real estate agent start making out, because like it sounds absurd when you just lay out the facts like that, but when you like see the performance, it's like so natural. It's like as soon as they're alone, it's like, well, obviously, like, oh God, how do they do it?
I think I gotta call it. We gotta wrap it up.
Yeah. Joe has to take care of his son, which is really difficult now that he's in Antarctica stuck here. But he's a good father, so he still does it anyway.
Yeah.
I hope everyone took our research to heart and their findings past peer review. By which I mean you too should watch the Stella pilot. It's on, like, if you look up Stella pilot, you can find it online. It's not like it made any money ever or could make money now, so you can just get it.
My next move is to get Tom to watch Children's Hospital, which
I have watched Children's Hospital.
You didn't know that it's in Brazil. Okay.
I did. Well, okay, fuck you. You need to watch Severance. I've been trying to get you to watch Severance. At this point, I kind of don't want you to watch Severance because it makes the joke funnier of you not watching Severance, even though it is the show about the anime. Like, it is the Anime Sickos show. All of the things we've talked about on our show are in that, and it's great. Anyway, whatever. Bye-bye. End of episode. We done. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at ShariaUncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.